Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
My name is Asa.
I'm Jim.
And we're your astute wind counselors to get you through the week with any problems you might be facing or anything that you want us to resolve for you. So we're going to get to our first one. As a matter of fact, this is a duo. Mandy and Melissa from Denver, Colorado, write, Dear Win, what are your thoughts on drums and vegans?
First off, hey girls.
Hey. That's like them coming back.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. What do you think, Jimbo?
Drums and vegans?
Yeah.
Sounds like that's a conjunction too. It's the both of them. Not what do you think of drums or vegans. But the two together.
Yeah.
Which makes me think of one thing, and that's a drum circle.
Oh.
Which I like in theory, but in practice always seems to last way too long.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's like South Park, where that jam band, the hippie jam band, the drum circle, the jam circle, kept
Exactly.
big, and it just, metastasized like a cancer.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love a fish show as much as the next guy. But I'm sorry, keep your drum circle in the parking lot and keep it confined to only 3 minutes of earshot for me.
Right. I really thought, I took this other way. I thought they were talking about like some new kind of MMA fight, drumming vegans to death, like gladiator style, because there's a lot of maybe, hopped up, roid, beef eating guys that just want to drum vegans to death for, getting on their high horse about you shouldn't eat animals, and then on the same token, they're wearing Birkenstocks.
So you think, was it Melissa and Mandy?
Yeah.
You think these are, I guess, carnivores that really want to push their own agenda?
I think they're carnivores not only to push on agenda. I think they're going to be the first two in this new UFC MMA kind of league.
Oh.
Drumming vegans. Yeah. Which is cool. Because, there's not many chick fighters out there, especially like Ronda Rousey.
Whoa. Lady fighters.
Oh, I apologize. And I probably should really apologize to you, Mandy and Melissa, because I don't want you to beat me down for calling you a chick. There's not many lady fighters out there, and once you lose the big popular one like Ronda Rousey, all of a sudden look what happened to the UFC. So we need a new UFC anyway for women, and why not start by drumming vegans?
And those UFC rings, the stages that they fight on, kind of look like a big drum.
They do. Coincidence? I think not. Luca from Rome, Italy writes, Dear Win, what do you think of Mark Zuckerberg giving Pope Francis a model of the new Facebook drone designed to spread internet to rural areas of the world? So I guess Zuckerberg handed over personally a little model of Facebook's new drone that they're going to use to try to spread the internet across Africa and other places of the world. What do you guys think of that?
Wait, he just showed him what it was going to look like?
Yeah, I think he literally gave him like a replica of what this actual drone is going to be, and he met with the Pope and stuff. And
it is like an internet hub? It's like a Wi-Fi hub?
Yeah, it's going to fly. It's going to fly around rural areas, and because of it, it's going to be able to beam down internet to areas that normally don't have it.
Whoa.
But I think the bigger thing is not just that, but what do you think about Zuckerberg actually giving him a little mock-up drone to the Pope? Not to the president, not to some IT guy, not to some, big investor, but to the Pope.
I'm wondering what the Pope would do with technology like that. Is there some kind of spreading, beaming down, not Wi-Fi vibes, but beaming down.
Subliminal kind of messaging, perhaps.
Yeah, it's Catholic vibes. Evangelization.
Yes. Nice.
That's it. Yeah. So you think that's what would happen? You think is the Pope in on this deal? Is Zuckerberg trying to get his blessing, so to speak?
I think the Pope just likes toys.
I think so too.
He seems like a guy who has a fun side,
right?
And so I think Zuckerberg was just giving him a toy.
I think what he's going to do with that thing is that this is his RC plane. The Pope's just going to fly the thing around, And if he says, "I want this as my RC plane," Zuckerberg's going to have to cough it up to him. That's what I think. But Ace, you think there's going to be some subliminal messaging coming down? If you want to get this internet access, you have to listen to this, or we're just going to play it in the background like the old Coke ads during the movies.
Yeah, if he'll be able to control the means to access the internet,
right?
So they get to set the terms.
And that's a good point.
So he's talking with, I'm not saying there's like a shady deal going on, but I think it is interesting how like he's trying to accrue more and more people into the Facebook the Facebook realm. And I've heard about like Facebook is now putting like stipulations on outside like third party content. Like you can't, like if you have like a magazine or something, you own a business and you have a Facebook page, you can't like link to your website like into Facebook. You have to have that content on Facebook. So it's like, it's kind of like Agent Smith engulfing the Matrix. Facebook is Agent Smith, and it's taking over the internet. So if he's able to accrue more and more people, they won't be getting the internet. They'll only be getting Facebook.
Very good point.
And I just want to remind everybody, you can catch the show on Facebook Live every Saturday night.
Matter of fact, you could be watching it right now. And if we look at the camera, hi guys.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Zuckerberg, if you're watching, we didn't mean any of that. We think it's great that you want to expand your...
Nah, I know what you're up to, buddy. I see right through your plan.
I can see it, Mark. You've got like 1.3 billion subscribers. You need more, don't you? All right.
He wants them.
He wants them all, and he's going to use the right hand of God. All right.
Yeah. From on high.
Yeah. Jane from Richmond, Virginia writes, Dear Win.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Jane.
Yo, what up?
Dear Win, our Richmond Times newspaper has endorsed Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson for president. Any thoughts on the matter? Asa?
Yo, I'm not a fan. I don't, any thoughts on...
You mean like the endorsement? Not a fan of newspapers endorsing candidates, or not a fan of Gary Johnson?
Oh, I didn't even think about newspapers endorsing candidates. That's a bigger issue than just personal preference for candidates.
Right.
Yeah, let's really bottom line this whole role of the media as an arbitrator instead of simply a journalist and presenter of information.
You're absolutely right. Those days are long gone.
Yeah.
The days of Walter Cronkite or whatever stepping out there just presenting the facts and that's it. Now there's an actual agenda driven by whoever the media arm is and their own personal preference, and their actual determination on try to assist given candidates.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it's a bad thing that they endorse them? I think what the question or what Jane is referring to here is that this is new, because normally newspapers will endorse either the Republican or Democratic candidate, depending on, where they're from. But to actually endorse a Libertarian candidate in the Richmond Times is probably pretty significant. So what do you think about that, guys?
I think it's nice to see somebody branching out. But my buddy Colin told me some stuff about Gary Johnson that, I don't know, maybe they haven't heard. I think we need to get them in touch with Colin so he can tell them like what his policies are really going to do.
Okay.
But like when it comes to politics, like the only endorsement I trust is my buddy Colin.
Okay. Just Colin. That's it. That's his name. Just Colin.
Yeah.
Agent Colin?
Colin Stanley.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know Colin. What do you think? Ace, what do you think?
I mean, like if they're going to do that, like they lose credibility as far. I'm not going to get my news from the Richmond Times if they're going to. But on the other hand, I mean, maybe it is good that they are just explicitly saying like, this is our candidate. Like we're not beating around the bush. We're not trying to slip it under your nose or anything like that. So
this
maybe,
is how we're trying to deceive you.
Right.
Be aware.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's on the doorstep.
Yep. No, not being subversive at all. They're just like, this is it. That's where we stand. You know what I like about it? I mean, I do agree with the fact that I don't think a quote unquote objective news source, which of course no newspaper is anymore these days, should do that. But if they're going to do that, I like the fact that they did endorse Gary Johnson, not because of who he is or what he stands for, but the fact that who he is not. He's not the standard Republican or Democratic nominee, which is the same every 4 years, and that the American public falls for the same old thing every 4 years, that they actually jumped out on the limb and said, you know what, we're going to endorse a third party candidate that most people probably don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
So I think for that, they get some props. But to do the actual endorsement itself, maybe that's a slippery slope.
I just want to say that I am super stoked that Gary Johnson is running so that all my Gary Johnson t-shirts from the early 90s, I can start wearing them again.
Right.
Like Gary Johnson golf, let the big dog eat.
Yep.
Things like that.
And you can now mix them up day to day with your Alice Cooper t-shirts, because I saw that you had that the other day, the Alice Cooper for president thing, since he's running.
Yeah. Jimmy loves Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Well, you know what? I think that's kind of where we stand with that one. And you know what? And we got one more, just one more little piece of inspiration. to get you through the rest of the week, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Oh, hey there. Are you a Libra? Do you need a Libra? Do you really want to support your bosoms with denim? Well, you can if you go to the World Improv Network Facebook page. Leave us a like over there. Check us out on YouTube, the World Improv Network channel. You can listen to some old shows, leave some likes, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Twitter. You can actually send us suggestions we will use on the show on Twitter at World Improv Net, all one word. And you can check out the podcast of the show on iTunes, on Google Play. Look us up, subscribe, leave some likes over there, leave a review. That really helps people find the show. And you know what? You're like, I'm old school. I got to do it live. Check us out every Sunday night, 8 p.m., Facebook Live, and on Mile High Sports Radio 1430 and simulcast on 104.7.
Thanks for listening to Win on Mile High Sports Radio. Don't forget to be a winner and interact with the cast by sending your suggestions or questions for each show segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, on Twitter at World Improv Net, or by calling into the Mile High Sports Radio studio line on Sundays before or during the show. See you next week.